Hi, this is my 21.2 on age. So, age is a degenerative process which includes several different factors relating to the muscular, skeletal, neural, and CV system. So, chronological age of an individual is the number of years they've lived for. This is an unaltering number. The biological age of an individual is how physically old they are. This can include the deterioration of organs, cells, and the slow repair of their muscles and cartilage. The social age of someone is caused by the role changes they will experience through life, and this is how they act around other people. And the psychological age of an individual is moulded by the social age of them, but also relates to the personality and mental age of that person. So this would include their memory, reasoning, and reactions. Perceptions in age. So there are many stereotypes and perceptions which will occur with age, and these will be across different stages of the individual's life. For example, many see golf as a sport for the older generation and games sports for more younger people. However, there is a netballer, Irene van Dijk, who challenged this when she was still included in the New Zealand netball team when she was well into her 30s. Similarly, Brian Gibbs with the Welsh football team. This assignment will be looking at the following systems and the changes which will occur with age, what effect they'll have on sports, and how these effects can be reduced. So the systems are the endocrine system, skeletal system, muscular system, cardiovascular system, respiratory system, and metabolism, thermoregulation, and body composition. So the first one I'm looking at is the endocrine system. This is the system which regulates the hormones in the body. So the hormones which will identify of the changes that occur are estrogen, testosterone, growth hormone, and melatonin. So estrogen is the hormone which is mostly found in women. Testosterone is the one that aids growth of muscles and development seen in large amounts of men. Growth hormone regulates the growth and repair of muscles, and melatonin regulates sleep and energy levels. The main changes in hormones is that there will be a decrease as the athlete ages, which means the following. So the growth hormone will be largely present when growing from an infant into a child, and then throughout puberty, levels will drop dramatically after puberty, but will still be present to aid the growth and repair of muscles, which can be done through exercising. As you age, after going through puberty, the levels of growth hormone will decrease. This will lead to having a decreased muscle strength, mass, and then recovery. This can have a great impact on sporting performance, especially sports involving power and muscular strength, but will also have an impact on confidence levels of the performer. For example, as a weightlifter in a gym, ages past 40, they will find their muscles are unable to repair as quickly, and when they do, they cannot make the advancements that a young person can with their weight. Therefore, they begin to lose confidence in their training and how much they can lift. So melatonin will be produced in large levels as a child. It will decrease slightly as the individual ages and goes through puberty. This is why children seem to have so much energy, and then when you get to teenagers, they all seem tired all the time. As you age past 45, the levels of melatonin will begin to decrease in large numbers, making older people feel more tired and sleepy throughout the day and after exerting tasks. They will have lower energy levels, which prevents them from being able to do as much as they could have done when they were younger. This affects sporting performance because they will feel tired frequently and not be able to work as hard. For example, in girls' football, as a woman ages, she may feel like she is unable to work as hard in the game than when she was in her 20s. Then on finishing the game when she was older, she may not be able to do much with her day afterwards, whereas when she was younger, she may have had enough energy just to have an active day, like walking around, meeting people. The estrogen hormone production decreases as an individual ages past puberty. When in teenage years, it spurs in production, initiating an early growth spurt for women than males, and this leads to women's body developing so she can carry children. This is why if you go to a secondary school, a lot of the girls in the same year are older, well, not older, but are taller than the boys. As a woman moves into her 40s, the hormone production reduces and women begin to go through the menopause. The menopause causes women to have an increase in fat production and weaken their bones, which may become brittle, leading them to have an increased chance of developing osteoporosis. It also has psychological effects of them feeling down and depressed with mood swings and feeling sad. For example, an older woman may be unable to run as regularly as she would like due to her bones becoming brittle, which the impact could potentially lead them to snapping. At the same time, the lady may feel down and depressed, needing to be able to run so she can make herself feel better. Testosterone will also decrease in its production as a male ages past 45. In young boys, it begins to produce in high levels around puberty, causing them to have a late growth spurt and voice to deepen. It is this hormone which aids muscle growth and repair, which is why through puberty teenage boys are able to build muscle easily through weight training. As the male ages into his 40s, testosterone levels will decrease, meaning they'll see a decrease in power and muscle growth and muscle repair, which means they may become unsuitable or have a reduced performance in activities which require muscular strength and power, for example, rugby and weightlifting. So an example of this is a male rugby player who plays recreational rugby, reach his 40s and begin to see a decline in his strength, leading him to be less able to withstand tackling and hold himself in scrums. As you age, the endocrine system will also become less sensitive to the receptors and therefore release less hormones when the body needs it. This means that there may be a delay in receiving the hormone which is needed. To delay the effects the changes age can have in the endocrine system, you can receive hormone replacement therapy, which gives the woman doses of estrogen and men levels of testosterone to make up for the loss in production. However, this can potentially be dangerous and have a worse effect on the body. Second way to delay the changes would be through regular exercise. This is because exercising releases the hormones, therefore decreased production can be made up slightly. It will also delay the effects of bone becoming brittle and developing osteoporosis, especially if light resistance is done, as it will maintain the production of osteoblasts. The graph above shows the changes of growth hormone and testosterone as an individual ages from 10 to 90 plus years. So as you can see, it spikes around 15, this is testosterone, and then remains high when reaching 30 and then slowly declines. Growth hormone also spikes, but between when you're 10 and 20, and then slowly decreases to when you're 70, which will remain the same. The skeletal system. The changes which take place in the skeletal system can involve bones and the thinning of cartilage. The changes which will take place are a decrease of bone density. As you are growing from an infant into a child, bone density will not be very good, which is why it's so easy for the young children to obtain fractures. Through puberty and growing into a young adult, the bone density of both males and females will begin to strengthen as you become stronger. As you age past 40, your bone density will see a decrease. The effect of this will mean there is less cell production. The osteoclast cells, which eat old bone, and the osteoblast cells, which build bone, will decrease, and the process will leave bones to be weaker. This could lead to the development of osteoporosis, which is when bones become brittle and less dense, and they can easily break. This can have an impact on sporting performance because it means that the bones are weaker and therefore may be unable to withstand as much impact. Due to the decrease in osteoblasts and osteoclasts, individuals may begin to develop osteopenia, which is when bones compress together and begin to combine as they aren't very dense, which is why older people seem to shrink and look curved over. For example, a long-distance runner will be more likely to obtain bone density-related injuries, such as shin splints, as their bone density would have decreased, making it easier for small cracks to form. A second change to the skeletal system which occurs would be to the cartilage. As you get into your 40s, your cartilage will begin to thin, and become less resistant to impact. This would lead to the individual joint stiffening and possibly the development of osteoarthritis, where the joints begin to seize up and it becomes difficult to move bones. This could lead to the development of osteoarthritis, which is the stiffening of cartilage, making it difficult to move the bones. For example, as a floor gymnast ages past 40, her cartilage will stiffen. She will be unable to do the flips and jumps she used to due to her joint stiffening and becoming painful as she dances. To delay the changes which can occur with age to the skeletal system, it is important to continue to regularly do some weight-bearing exercise. This encourages osteoblasts and osteoclasts to continue the destruction and production of bone. Weight-bearing exercises include running, walking, and game sports. Athletes could also take calcium and vitamin D supplements. Calcium aids the building of new bone, and vitamin D helps the absorption of calcium. Therefore, they would help prevent changes. Body weight and resistance training will also help prevent effects of age to the skeletal system, as it keeps the osteoblasts and osteoclasts working. To prevent the stiffening of bone cartilage, you could obtain surgery, which will replace it with new or synthetic layer of cartilage to smooth the movement of joints. The graph above shows the changes in bone mass for a male and female as you age between 0 to 100 years. So as you can see, it starts quite low when you're 10, increases to when you're 40, and then slowly declines from when you are around 45. The muscular system. So the changes which occur to the muscular system are outlined above. After your main childhood growth after your main childhood growth, the peak time for your muscles to grow is between 18 and 30. A decrease in muscle mass occurs as an individual reaches their 40s, which may be due to the reduction in testosterone and possibly inactivity, which settles in as a person ages. This means they have had less muscle tone, which may impact their confidence. They may also see a reduction in power and strength, which could result in them having a lower performance in relevant sports. For example, as a weightlifter reaches his 40s, he may start to not build muscle as easily, meaning he is unable to clean and press a 120 kilogram weight in a competition. This could lead to him feeling disillusioned with himself, and he cannot lift as much as he once could. Similarly to the muscle mass, as you age, the force your muscle fibers contract at will change as well. So it will increase throughout your 20s and 30s, which is when you have the most potential to be your strongest. You will see a decrease in this as you pass into your 40s. This will affect the individual because it means they are not as strong as they once were. This could affect them in sport and in everyday life, as they may tire more quickly because the muscles are unable to contract at a greater force. Therefore, they have to contract more times to generate that same force. So, for example, a footballer may tire quickly because to make a drive up the pitch, the muscles in the player's calves may have to take more steps because the muscle can't contract as hard, so it can't push the stride as further. Therefore, the calves will contract more times in order to cover this same distance, as his stride length was shorter. Just going to cut it here and then I'll start again on the next one.